Welcome back, travelers. Tonight's tale, Mysteries in the Dark. Our heroes are one step closer to finding the mysterious voice behind the dreams that have been plaguing their minds. But like most mysteries, sometimes the answers you find just ain't the ones you've really been searching for or want. Welcome to Darkstone Drinking. Hello everybody, welcome back to Darkstone Drinking, a drinking game to the epic tabletop RPG dungeon crawler game Shadows of Brimstone. My name is Seth Campbell, I'll be your host for the night, and we're going to be jumping into a wonderful, wonderful board game where we play as heroes in the Old West who are fighting off eldritch horror monsters that are trying to take over the town of Brimstone and corrupt it with their evil. And what I'm doing is I'm playing a drinking game to that. So if you're just joining me for the first time, you need to stop. You need to go back and watch all the other episodes. There's a ton of them already at this point, and there's going to be more. So go on, catch up, because there's a story that I've been continuing and will continue until I finally come to the end, which could be a long time for now, because these things take a long time. But I'm so glad you're here. So thank you for joining. And for those of you who are familiar with the game, welcome, welcome. You can drink along as well. And you can also take extra shots every time I miss some rules in the game, because I'm going to do that, and the more I drink, the more I'm going to do that. So welcome, grab your drink. We're going to jump into the drinking rules in just a few minutes, and then I'll catch you up on the story if you don't want to go back and watch, and we're going to go on. So thank you for joining me. Let's proceed with the drinking. All right, up here on your left, you should see the rules, so let's get into them. So you're going to take a few single drinks, a few double drinks, and then a couple of shots. So first you're going to take a drink whenever a hero rolls a 1 for movement. So that is whenever they go to the move, they roll a 1, they get a grit, and then we take a drink. You're also going to take a drink whenever we draw an encounter card. That's one of the events that can happen in the game. It might be tests that our heroes have to pass. Then you're also going to take a drink whenever a hero takes a wound or a sanity damage, just one for the group of them. And then you're also going to take a single drink whenever an enemy or a group of enemies appear. And then on to the double drinks. You're going to take 2 drinks whenever the darkness moves, so that's the dark energy forces in the mines that are trying to get out of there, and that's one of the things that we're trying to stop. And then you're going to take 2 drinks whenever a critical hit is rolled, so that's when a hero rolls a 6 for their attack. We might also take 2 drinks whenever an enemy rolls their version of a critical hit, if they have something like that. Then we're also going to take 2 drinks whenever Darkstone is drawn, so that's the purple rocks in this world. They're magical energy forces. Heroes craft them into their weapons and things like that. So we're going to take 2 drinks whenever those are drawn. Then you're also going to take 2 drinks whenever a depth event is drawn. So that's when we roll to hold back the darkness. If we roll doubles, that triggers a depth event. So it could hold back the darkness if it's high enough, but it also triggers a depth event, which most of the time are bad. So some sort of like cave-in or ambush attack or something like that. And then we also take 2 drinks. Then we move on to the shots. You're going to take a shot whenever a hero is KO'd, which we've already had one happen in the last round, and I'm sure it's going to happen again. And then you're also going to take a shot at the end of a fight. So whenever we encounter enemies, a fight begins, and when we defeat all those enemies, or if all of our heroes are defeated, then we take another shot. Them's the rules. Let's jump back into the story. Okay, so when we last left our heroes, they have been wandering through the caverns of Cinder, searching for the mysterious voices that have been haunting their minds. There's been dreams that have been plaguing everyone in town, and they went to find them, went out in the mines, because that's what Sonny said they had to do. Of course, Sonny's been saying they have to do a lot of things, and he seems to know what they need to do, but he hasn't given any reasons why. And they find a portal to the caverns of Cinder they've been exploring on, and the mysterious Reverend Elijah Haig has gone off on his own in one direction, unbeknownst to the other heroes, because they didn't pay attention. They've been pressing on, drawn forward by the voices, and so Lily, Willie, and Sonny came into a room full of statues, some sort of, shrine to some ancient god figure, and the voices appeared, and it was the Hellfire Witch, the queen of the Hellfire Succubi, and with her lava men, minions, and of hell vermin stomped into the room. They took out Lily immediately and have been ravaging our heroes, and that is where we left off, and that is where we are going to jump back in. So, without further ado, let's jump over to the game board and get going. So ready your drinks. Let's have one for good measure and get into it. Let's do this. All right, so we're back in it. We're gonna start with Sonny's turn, but first we need to roll to hold back the darkness. And we do it. The darkness is held back, no drinks, and Sonny is going to move. All right, so he rolls for movement. It's a 1, so everybody take your drink. First drink of the night, first official drink of the night. Sonny gets a grit, and then he is going to go ahead and move up 1 into the space, avoiding the hot lava. And then we're going to move on to Willie. Let's roll for his movement. Willie also rolls a 1. Drink! We're off to a great start, everybody. A great start. So Willie goes ahead and presses forward 1. He also gets his grit, which he is going to immediately use to add another d6 to his movement because he has 2 grit already. And it is a 3. So he's going to add 1, 2. He's going to go ahead and look through that door and see what is on the other side. Okay, so Willie looks through the door, and he sees obviously more fire and lava, but there's also giant carved statues of obsidian and basalt, and they are carved in the likeness of Belial, and they are looming overhead. And clearly, this place was made as a shrine and a sanctuary to the being behind the apparition that they just fought, the actual Belial, and they know that they're getting closer and closer to him and the man behind the curtain. So we have an exploration token that we're going to reveal in just a minute, but we are going to cut over to Lily's turn. So Lily rolls for her movement, and it is a 3. She's going to saddle up next to Willie. 1, 2, 3. She looks at him. She says, "Don't you get ahead of me, boy. Don't you do it." And then with that, we're going to jump over to the Reverend. Meanwhile, in another part of the Caverns of Cinder, the Reverend is on his own. He is hearing the voices there calling to him. He has to roll for his voices in the dark. So he takes d6 horror hits, which is, let's try that again, 4. So he's got to roll 4 to hold those back. So his defense is 4, sorry. And he gets 1, 2 of them, and 2 of them are successful hits. He does not have, he's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 health. He can't afford that, so he's going to use his grit to re-roll those 2. He blocks 1, so he takes 1 hit, and so we take a drink. He's going to be okay. He takes his sanity damage, but still, now he takes, he's got some heat coming at him. He's wearing some clothing, and so he's got to battle the heat back from the Caverns of Cinder. He does manage to do that. He's holding strong. And then there's also some other things. There's venting steam in that room, and so at the start of his turn, he also has to make a luck 4+ test. So he has to roll 2 dice to pass a luck test. He does. And he's going to go ahead and do his faith healing sermon and try to heal himself. So he's going to call on the power of the Lord here. And he does. So he gets to roll to heal D3 wounds, so he gets to heal 1 wound from himself, which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot, but it's a little. And with that, he's going to press on through this room. He's being called by the voices. And again, they're going,
Reverend, come to us. This is the way.
and he moves 2 more spaces into the room. And with that, we are at the end of the turn, and so we're going to start over. We have exploration tokens to reveal. So over here in the space where our main heroes are, we flip it over, and it is an encounter, and it is the final clue. So first thing we do is draw our encounter card, and since we've drawn an encounter card, take a drink. And let's flip it over. And it's ancient text, and so in the middle of this room of statues, a large stone obelisk stands in the center of the chamber, and ancient text is chiseled into its dark sheen surface, and the glyphs and the symbols seem to glow from the corner of their eyes. And so one of them has to pass a lore 6+ test, and that is going to be Lily, because she has a lore of 5, so she has to pass a lore 6. So let's do this. Come on, Lily. And she does it. So she passed it. She gains 25 XP, and a clue icon is added to the next exploration token, which doesn't matter because we've already found the final clue. And so she looks into the text, and Sonny's way back here in the back, and he's shouting to her, and he's like, don't read it. And she does. She looks into the text, and she starts to read this mysterious magical language, and it seems familiar to her, almost as if she knows it, and the words are coming to her, and to quote Lord of the Rings, it's all of that, and with that, then the voices in their heads, and the voices have been revealed, and they have found the source, and there's a howling coming from the pits of the lava, and across the way a hellhound leaps out, and its 2 heads are gnashing and gnarling, and it's growling at them, and it's dripping poisonous acid from its mouth. And then there's a thundering boom, and out of the pit a lava man pulls himself out. And then another one comes out and comes stomping up, and they're oozing hot magma out of their pores. And then there's a cackle and a laugh, and a woman. The woman's voice can be heard.
Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I've been calling to you.
And the Hellfire Witch materializes out of thin air and is here to torment our heroes and cause utter destruction. And with that, we've got new enemies on the table, so we need to take a drink. And we are in a fight, and we're going to jump in and go. And so, the voices have been revealed. Sonny's back there, and he screams out, and he says, "Stop!" But first he has to take his heat damage from his clothing. He does block it, so he's safe. Oh, but we also have to hold back the darkness. Let's go ahead and take a drink because I forgot a rule. Whoops. Hold back the darkness, which we do. We got it. So the darkness does not move, so even in the midst of all the crazy shenanigans that are about to go down, Lily holds up that lantern, and the darkness does not get through. All right, with that, the Hellfire Witch is done laughing at her victims, and she is about to jump in and into the fight. But first, she starts by casting random shadow magic, so she starts drawing into the dark energy around her. There's a vicious shredding with a wave of her clawed hand. An invisible pack of hellhounds tear at the heroes, snarling and snapping with the fury of 1,000 millennia of hate. And so every hero on her map tile must make an agility 5+ test. So let's start with Lily, who has an agility of 2. Come on, Lily. She doesn't get it, so she takes D6 hits that do damage equal to her hero level, which is 1, but so she takes 1 hit, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So she's at 10 damage. So we take a drink. So the invisible hellhounds come rushing at her and smack into her shoulder, and she can feel it wrenching flesh from the bone. And then Willie is also on the map tile, so he has to make an agility test. He's an agility of 4, though. He's a little more spry. He's used to these old bar fight brawls. And he does it. He hears the hellhounds come, and he ducks and he dodges, and the invisible hounds come leaping over his head, and they don't get him, so he's safe there. And then the witch is in the room, and she's ready to cause pain. And so she is going to target. She's going to be targeting Willie. Oh, Willie. She has double the base health and combat of a regular Hellfire Witch. And then she also... Male heroes cannot use Grit. And she's immune to critical attacks, so that sucks. They're also all -1 to their defense rolls because she is a Hellfire Succubi. And she's immune to Hellfire Burning Markers. And she's immune to critical hits from males, but she's immune to all critical hits because she's a Hellfire Witch. Okay, and so she has a move of 7, so she's gonna fly in. So she's cackling as she goes, and she comes flying in over to Willie, and she's looking Lily in the eye, and she's like,
I'm gonna kill your boyfriend,
she says, and she has a combat of 6. Willie's about to die, y'all. He about to die. Be dead. And let's see. So we've got 1, 2 hits. Oh, I should have rolled the red die. I always forget to do that. 2 hits on old Willie. Come on, Willie. She comes flying in. She pulls her claws out, and she saddles up to him. She's like,
hello, Willie. I've been waiting for you.
And Willie ducks and dodges one of them. He's like hell you have. But then she gets another one in and rips it into his shoulder and pulls him close. And she's like,
we're gonna have such a good time.
And digs in, and he starts to scream. He's like, oh, bloody hell. And Willie takes 2 damage, putting him at 7 out of 8. So we need to take a drink. And then it is going to be the Hell Vermin's turn, the Hellhound. And it is going to target Lily. Obviously, she's the only one left to target for him. And so it comes flying in. Oh, and it heals wounds too. Oh, crap. Lily's almost dead. She can't afford too many more hits. So it's got a combat of 3. And 1, 2, 3 of them. All 3 of them are hits. And Hellvermin combat to hit rolls of 6 do 1 corruption hit to the hero. So first we've got a corruption hit that Lily has to block. So let's go ahead and try to block that one, which she does not. So as it bites in, she takes a corruption. She can feel the dark magic coursing through her veins. So she's got 2 corruption now. So let's go ahead and take a drink for that. And then Lily's got 3 to block here. She blocks 1, 2. She gets 2 of them. She's at 10, and she has 13 health, but it's too late. She doesn't have any grit. The vermin comes leaping in and launches onto her shoulder and starts shaking and flailing around. There's nothing she can do about it, and Willie lets out a scream as he sees the love of his life go down, and the hell vermin just flings her to the wall, and Lily is KO'd. out of the fight. So we're not going to be able to revive her unless something happens, like a rejuvenating life formula or something like that. And so Lily's KO'd, so we need to take a shot. Oh boy. And with that, we move on to Sonny. So Sonny's watching all this. He lets out a scream as Lily goes down. So he is going to roll for his movement, and it's a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and so he's within range. Gosh, does he want to shoot at the Hellfire Witch or the Hell Vermin? So she's at a health of 14. I mean, it's not like he's gonna kill her right now, but he can't kill the Hell Vermin either because it's pretty strong. So I don't know. Might as well go for the most powerful one. So he's gonna fire at the Hellfire Succubi, and so he has a carbine. He's got 3 shots on that. She's immune to critical hits, so the critical hits aren't gonna do anything. But let's see what we can do. So he pulls out his carbine, and he's got 2 hits on her. Let's see what the damage is. He's got a 2 and a 6, so he is going to get 3 damage on her. So he pulls out his carbine, knocks back, and fires a shot. It goes flying in and hits the Hellfire Succubi in the shoulder, and she is taken aback for a second, but it just makes her more mad, and she's like,
"You're next."
And with that, it's old Willie's turn. He's right next to the Hellfire Witch. And so he's gonna just look her in the eye and pull out his little pistol there, and just see if he can fire off a shot. And it's a dud. He pulls out his pistol, it's click, 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 and it does absolutely nothing. And she just laughs at him and just swats it away. And so he can't use his grit to re-roll that. Boo. And so then we are on to the lava men. And so one of the lava men is going to target. They can't get through, so they're just going to move in and start crowding the space. And they're trying to get in, and they're just oozing lava. And the heat is overwhelming. And Willie's like just looking at all of this, and he's like, "Holy hell!" And with that, we are going to jump over to the Reverend. Meanwhile, in another part of the Caverns of Cinder, the Reverend is still on his own journey. He's completely unaware of what's happening in the other space. So he has to take his voices in the dark. So 2 horror hits. He blocks one of them, but the other one it's starting to get to him a little bit, and so the madness is creeping in. The voices are calling him, and he takes a sanity damage, and so we need to take a drink. And then he also has to block his heat. He's got an item of clothing, which he also does not do. It's just getting a little too hot in here for the old Reverend, so he takes a wound. And we have to take another drink. And then there's also venting steam, so he also has to make a luck +4 test. So he's going to try to pass that, which he does. So he passes the luck test. It's not going to get him just yet, so he manages to dodge the steam. And he rolls a 1 for movement. So let's take a drink for that. And then he gets a grit, and he moves 1 more forward into the space. And so he's on a completely other adventure here. He's exploring on his own. He's got his own kind of goals in mind. Nobody's even paid attention that the Reverend's not even there, because they're on a completely different map, fighting the monsters in there. Speaking of monsters in there, let's jump back over to our other heroes. First things first, we're going to roll to hold back the darkness. And it is a 3. We don't hold back the darkness. It moves forward 1, and we have to take a drink. Bottoms up. Sorry, 2 drinks. Alright, with that, we're going to move on to Sonny's turn. Lily is out for the count right now, so Sonny is going to first roll to... no, sorry, it's not Sonny's turn. It is the Hellfire Witch. She is attacking Willie. So she's going to fire her Shadow Magic. Lost Chance. Among the rubble on the floor of the chamber, a reflection of shimmering gold catches their eye. Unable to restrain themselves, they reach down to search for it among the rocks. So every hero must take a Luck 5+ test for searching the rocks at their feet. So that's going to be only Sonny and Willie. And I guess the Reverend's going to do it too, even though he's not in this chamber. So we're going to start with Sonny, who has a Luck 2. Doesn't get it, so he's -1 on his to hit rolls. Crap. And then Willie, he gets it, so he gets to draw a loot card, and it's an artifact card. And because they're in this Caverns of Cinder, it's a Caverns of Cinder artifact card, and it is Scroll of Darkness right there. Discard and take 1 corruption hit to cancel a darkness or growing dread. Ooh. Yeah, he could probably afford to do that. And then, meanwhile, over in the other chamber is Reverend Haig. He's going to roll 2 for his luck test. And he also passes it, so he gets a loot card. And it's money, so he gets $25 times a D6, which is 1. So he gets $25. Alright, with that, the Hellfire Witch is going to attack. She has a combat of 6. She's going to attack Willie. She's coming back in for him. She says,
"You won't escape me this time, Willie."
And it is 1, 2, 3, 4 hits and damage of 2. So he's got to block 4 of them here. Oh, I should have rolled those red die again. I keep forgetting to do that. Alright, oh Willie, he can't afford this. He's gonna die. He blocks 1, 2, 3 of them. He can't use any grit to re-roll, so the last one comes in. And he ducks and he dodges and he blocks, and then and she digs her claw in. She says,
"I told you so. I told you, Willie. Just let go."
and she digs in, and Willie takes his wounds, and we take a drink. And Willie falls to the ground. Ah! And he is out for the count. And we have to take our shot. Bottoms up. Oh man, that's 2 heroes down. Willie's out. We move to the Hell Vermin. So now with only Sonny left on the map, the Hell Vermin comes flying in and is gonna go for Sonny. And it's gonna roll 3 combat. Let's see here. And one of them is a hit. But this could be enough to get him if he doesn't block it. And he does not block it. He's not on the same map tile as the Hellfire Witch though, so he's going to use that grit. Try again. And he doesn't get it, and the Hell Vermin comes flying in and just bashes into Sonny and grabs him by the leg and thrashes around, and he takes 4 damage. And so we take a drink and just grabs him and rends him down, and he is out for the count. And we also need to take a shot now because Sonny is down. Bottoms up. Oh my god. Whew. Okay. With that, all of our main heroes are down. The lava men come stomping closer, and the Hellfire Witch comes flying in and is looming over the bodies, and she's laughing and cackling. And we're going to cut over to the Reverend. Meanwhile, over in the Reverend's part of the cave, first he's going to use his faith healing. He gets it, so he's going to heal himself, so he casts another sermon. He heals a wound. Then he takes his voices in the dark, which he blocks one of them, and he misses one. So again, the Reverend is just starting to go madder and madder from the voices coming from the darkness. And then he also has to take his heat damage, which he gets, and so the heat's not getting to him. And so with that, he's going to step forward and look through that last door. And so he gets a 5, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's going to look through the door into another chamber. And so the Reverend looks through the door, and he is standing in the throne room of Belial. And there is lava pouring out from the crevices, and he sees the massive throne sitting there, and there's a pulsating dark energy and a dark laugh. And a large looming shape appears before him, and Belial appears out of the darkness and the flame. And he says,
Elijah, welcome.
and Elijah looks at him and says, my lord, I'm sorry that I had to play the servant to another master. He says, and Belial looks at him, he says,
All is forgiven, my child.
and Elijah says, Master, I've done what you've asked. I've brought them here. They're here. And Belial says,
Good. Now we can begin.
and with that, there's a blast of energy, and ripples of magic go blasting past, and Lily on the floor, and Willie and Sonny are dying and bleeding, and energy goes coursing over them, and the world shifts and moves, and everything goes black yet again. And that's where we're going to end.